Welcome back, everybody. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. In today's episode, we're reading some more Am I the A-hole Reddit stories. Some of the stuff that we're going to read today, oh my god. You have to see this. I know I say every single episode is unbelievable, but this episode is going to be unbelievable, okay? I hope you guys have a good time today and definitely subscribe if you want to. And let's get into the first one that we're going to read today. Am I the a-hole for being disgusted and just saying okay when my fiance broke up with me? So I don't know, man. I, 28, had been with my fiance Alex, 34, since 2020. We met at a friend's party and we hit it off, and we've been together ever since. He finished his doctorate in economics last year. Since then, he's been working at the uni. I have my master's in media sciences, and I decided that I'd start working instead of going for a PhD. Okay, so the problem is that Alex broke up with me last Monday. It was literally so surreal and honestly just weird. For the past few months, he'd been acting strange. He was making demands and then dropping them immediately. A few examples, he told me that we were going to paint our walls back from dark green to white. When I asked why, he just said, for f***'s sake, forget it, and then never brought it up again, even when I asked. Another time he came home and got mad because I was sitting on the couch with my head covered in a blanket. I had cramps. He was upset because I was just sitting there watching Netflix. Mind you, the house was spotless. When I tried to talk about it, he said, forget it, it's not a big deal. This kind of thing became very common. Every time I tried to communicate or tried to figure out what was going on, whether it was something I did or maybe he was just stressed at work, he would just say everything was fine, but he was clearly seething with rage. I didn't even have to do anything. He'd find something to complain about. The apartment, the clothes, me, work. So I gave him space, which apparently was also wrong. I told him I was going to help my parents with repairs for a few days, and then somehow that was also wrong too because he wanted to renovate the apartment too. Then on Monday, I got a text saying that we needed to talk. I knew what was coming, and after the last few months, I had made peace with it. When I came home, he was sitting on the couch. He didn't even wait for me to take off my jacket before saying, I want to break up. And then the verbal diarrhea started. He told me that he resented me, first because I didn't pursue my academic career any further, even though I was capable, and he didn't want to upset me at the time. Then when I started making more money, since he didn't make much as a PhD student, he felt like I should have the last word financially, and he hated it. Mind you, I never said anything like it's my money, so I have the final say. That's a rule that he imposed on himself, and he hated it. He said that he hated our paint scheme, the couch, and even our crock pot. What? Then he told me that he'd rejected a better PhD program to stay here because I'd already started my job by the time that he got the acceptance letters. Only he never even told me that he'd applied overseas. He said a few months ago that he checked in with a friend who's in that program, say how they're thriving, and decided that I ruined his life. Wow, he sounds exhausting. He said that I had too much control over his life and that he hated the idea that I could just decide not to pay for things and quote unquote f him over. I don't even know what that means. He also said that he hated that all of his friends loved me and didn't let him vent about me. Then he said again, I'm done. I was floored. I'd already made peace with the idea that we were ending, and it hurt, but after that rant, I was just disgusted. I looked at him probably with a disgusted expression and said, okay, he lost it. He said that's exactly what he meant, that it was horrible. We'd been together for 4 years and all I had to say was okay to our breakup. I just asked if he wanted to stay here while he figured out where to go. He said, typical, of course you're holding the apartment over me, and started ranting again. So I left. I told my parents and they're also confused. My dad suggested that I reach out to our landlord and explain the situation to see what options I've got. I can keep paying the rent no problem myself. He covered the utilities and some subscriptions. Just to reiterate, I never had a problem with this. I saw that he was chasing his dream and that was more important to me than a 50-50 financial split. I make good money and I'm happy at my job. I never saw it as slaving away. I always had the mentality that my money was our money because we were building a life together. Of course, I had my own savings and fun money, but I never cared. As long as I felt like he was working towards something and wasn't taking advantage of me, I was fine with it. More than fine. He's still mad at me. He's going between texting me like a robot about the logistics of the split to being a seething a-hole complaining about everything. I'm not even hurt anymore. I feel nauseated by him at this point. I don't know, should I have reacted different? Edit, thank you for all your opinions. It was nice to get this off my chest. To clarify though, I don't feel like a victim. I feel like something happened and my relationship turned bad. He was behaving like an a-hole, but that's the extent of it. Very clearly something is going on, but he doesn't want me to be a part of whatever it is. And I kinda have to respect that. Now I just have to detangle myself legally from him, and then after that I'll be left alone with my ugly green wall color. I think I might also adopt a cat as my ex was really allergic. Yeah, like the top comment says, not the a-hole. Dude basically said that he hates you and everything about you. What are you supposed to do? Beg for his love when you can find somebody who'll give it to you readily? No, I'm sorry this happened to you and that you were blindsided, but this will be a good thing in the long run. On to the next. And for what it's worth, he sounds jealous and insecure and emotionally stunted. If what you've written is how how things played out, then you've dodged a huge bullet. No, you're definitely not the a-hole OP. And what did he even expect? Like, how did he even expect you to react? Yeah, also, like this comment says, dude basically hates himself for decisions that he took without ever consulting you. He chose his comforts, but now since others seem in a better position, he's venting on you and making you the culprit. Not the a-hole, but your man has a little brain and doesn't know what to do with it. Yeah, like, oh, I pretty much hate you and I resent you. I don't like how you did this and how you might do this and how you're ruining my life. Like, oh, I'm so sorry, please don't leave. Is that how we wanted you to respond? Sounds so exhausting. Like, of course you responded by saying, okay. You responded how I feel like anybody would respond. And OP said here, I was really confused trying to take everything in. He talked really fast and a lot too, so I didn't know what else to say. Also, because everything I do is wrong, I think he would have been even more annoyed if I started crying or something. Yeah, so you were blindsided, you were confused. No matter what you did in this situation, it wouldn't have been good enough and it wouldn't have been right, and he still would have complained and got upset no matter what you did. And yeah, like you said, if you cried, it probably would have even been worse. And I was thinking, why would he even care about the color of like the crock pot or whatever they said? And OP has this comment that says, I don't think he actually cares about those things. I think he just hates me. So everything that has to do with me is also hated. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. No, you're not the a-hole here, OP. He resented you so much that you couldn't even react in a way that didn't piss him off. You don't need him, OP. Post number 2 that we're going to read today is called, Am I the gay hole for leaving my boyfriend? Quote unquote, for no reason. I, 26 female, have been with my now ex-boyfriend Eric, 28 male, for 2 years. Overall, we've had a good relationship, nothing crazy, until last night when things completely fell apart. We were out at a bar with some of his friends, just having a normal night, drinks and food, the usual. Eric and his friend Mark, 28 male, were joking around and Eric made a comment about how much Mark was eating. Something like, careful Mark, you'll eat the whole damn bar. It seemed harmless at first, just typical guy humor. But then Mark looked straight at me and said, if only she knew. It was one of those moments where you instantly feel uncomfortable, like there's something going on behind your back. I had no idea what Mark was talking about and the whole vibe at the table shifted. But before I could even react, Eric exploded. He went off on Mark, screaming at him to shut the f up, and even tried to get physical. His other friends had to hold him back. Mark didn't really react, which only made Eric even angrier. The whole thing was so awkward and we ended up leaving early. When we got back to my place, I couldn't stop thinking about that comment. So I asked Eric, what the hell did Mark mean by if only she knew? What don't I know? And instead of just answering me like a normal person, Eric lost it again. He started yelling at me, telling me to drop it and stop being paranoid. He was dodging every question, getting more pissed every time I brought it up. I wasn't trying to pick a fight, I just wanted to know what was going on. It felt like there was something important being hidden from me, and I wasn't about to let it slide, but every time I asked, he'd just get even more defensive and angry. Finally, he stormed out of my apartment. He doesn't live with me, so I locked the door and I called it a night. I didn't hear from him until this morning, and when I did, it was just more angry texts telling me to drop it and to leave him alone. At that point, I was done. I'm not going to sit around and be treated like I'm crazy for asking a simple question. I texted him back saying that we're done. I need space, and if he can't be honest with me, then I don't want any part of this relationship. End of story. Now here's where it gets worse. He's been going around to our mutual friends telling them that I left him for no reason and trying to make it seem like I'm the one who overreacted. Some of them have even reached out to me saying that I should have just let it go and that I'm blowing things out of proportion. I told them to mind their own business. I don't care what they think. None of them were in the moment. None of them saw how he acted, and none of them have to live with the pit in their stomach that I've had since this weird ass comment from Mark. Yeah, and good on you for saying that, OP. I'm not gonna stay in a relationship where I feel like something shady is going on behind my back. If Eric can't be straight with me after 2 years together, then what's the point? So Reddit, am I the yay-hole for leaving him over this? There is an update here, but before we read that, no, definitely not, OP. Of course you feel the way that you feel, and something is going on. You just don't know what it is. Update, I feel like I'm living in some kind of twisted nightmare, and the more I try to make sense of it, the worse it gets. Mark called me today while I was at work. I didn't expect him to call me because he was ignoring me. I stepped outside to take the call, and he told me something that I never in a million years could have prepared for. He told me that Eric has been putting other men's into my food, drinks, skincare, shampoo, conditioner, and even my toothpaste. Wait a second, what? That is so messed up. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being dramatic. That's what Mark said. Eric has apparently been hooking up with random men, having them finish into cups and then using it in my meals and drinks like it's some kind of sick joke. Even as I write this, I'm still in complete disbelief. Who does that to someone? Mark said that he found out about this a week ago, but for some reason it took him that long to tell me. A week. I've been living my life completely oblivious, trusting Eric, Eric, somebody I loved, while this was happening behind my back. I feel so betrayed, so disgusted, and so violated. When I asked Mark if he and Eric were having an affair or if it was some sort of twisted thing between them, he swore that they weren't, and he even made a gross comment about not wanting to touch Eric because who knows what diseases he has. What? That made my stomach turn. I'm getting tested for everything now because I don't know what's been in my body. When I got home, I went straight to the kitchen. Mark told me to check under the sink, and there were the cups, hidden behind the cleaning supplies. I lost my crap. I threw out everything in the kitchen and bathroom, even stuff I knew wasn't even touched. I don't care. Everything feels contaminated now. My home doesn't feel like a safe space anymore. Every time I walk into the kitchen, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I can't even function without my mind going to dark places, thinking about all the times I had no idea what was happening. I don't have any solid proof of this. It's only Mark's word and those disgusting cups, and I feel so powerless. If nothing can be done about this, I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do. How is this even legal? Oh, there's no way that's legal, OP. How can somebody get away with something so vile? I don't know if I'll ever be able to trust anybody again. This whole thing has been messing with my head in ways that I can't even explain. I feel dirty. I feel like I've been violated on such a deep level, and there's nothing I can do to undo it. My mum wants me to check into a hospital just to make sure that I'm okay mentally, and I'm gonna do it. I don't feel stable right now. I don't feel like myself. I'm scared I could hurt myself or somebody else. Eric was eating the same food. He was eating the food that he had contaminated right alongside me. Was it a kink? A power trip? I don't even know anymore. All I know is the man I thought I knew, the man I loved, is a complete stranger to me now. I can't believe I've been living with somebody so capable of something so vile. I feel like I'm losing my mind, and I don't know how I'm gonna come back from this. How can he do this to me? I'm genuinely losing it. I feel like I'm a danger to myself. I'm gonna check myself into the hospital. That's one of the most wild things I feel like we've read, maybe ever. What did we just read? I'm gonna take ages to try and process this. That's so vile. This comment says, girl, after reading the update, you need to contact the authorities. Keep the cups and hire a lawyer. See if Mark is willing to speak to the police and give a statement to back you up. This is absolutely insane. This is a huge, disgusting violation on so many levels. It scares me to think about how many times he's done this, and if you've contracted any diseases because of it. I figured that Eric cheated on you, but I didn't expect him to be this depraved. He needs to be put in prison. Yeah, I'm in complete shock after what we just read. OP did leave a comment here that says, everything I threw out was in the kitchen garbage, so it didn't get taken on trash day. My mum and my cousin went to my house with the police to get it for evidence. I am pressing charges against him. Yeah, you have to, OP. OP also has this comment. Mark messaged me saying, sorry that you have to deal with that, before blocking me. I don't know how to contact him. And then OP said he finally unblocked me, but is not answering my messages. Yeah, I feel sick for you, OP. That's so revolting, beyond revolting. Words don't even describe how awful that is. And yet, of course, that's not legal. Okay, so we need to move on. The next one that we're going to read, and probably another one that's going to make us feel sick in the stomach, is called Am I the Gay Hole? My husband is planning to go on a dinner date with a long-term ex. Already don't want to read this. I hate it. I really need input from people who don't know us so their opinions aren't biased. I'm very emotional and tired, so I apologize in advance for any typos. My husband Jack, male 36, used to date Emma, female 34, for years. They broke up because Jack didn't want to get married or have kids. Emma moved away, and about a month after, Jack met me, female 30. I don't look like the typical girls Jack had been dating. For example, Emma is super tall, blonde and blue eyes, and has a PhD. I'm petite, 110 pounds and short. I'm a nurse, I have dark curly hair, and I'm an introvert. Apparently she was a social butterfly. Jack has a group of friends that he's known since childhood. They're like brothers to him, but from the very beginning they didn't like me. They still call me the rebound girl. At our wedding during his best man speech, he joked, we all thought rebound girls were temporary, but our brother Jack made an honest woman out of her. Everybody laughed. I didn't. They also joked that I'm just a nurse and that Jack downgraded, since he's got a PhD, technically postdoctoral, from a doctor to just a nurse. For my own sanity, I ignore them, and Jack still hangs out with them regularly. Last weekend there was a fundraising gala and Emma was there. I saw her for the first time in person. Jack introduced me and Emma said, yeah, I know who she is. The guys weren't kidding when they described her. Haha. Jack quickly changed the topic and asked how long she was in town. She said for a week, and then they ended up chatting all night, reminiscing about old times. I decided to talk to other people. Later at bedtime, Jack mentioned that he should go out to dinner with Emma. I assumed he meant inviting her over, so I asked him what kind of food she liked so I could make it. He said no, it would just be the two of them. I asked like a date, and he replied no, just two friends going to dinner. Why are you so insecure? Oh my god, dump him so hard. I asked him, do you miss her? Do you miss being with her? He said, I'm not gonna lie, it felt great talking to her tonight. There's just something about her. I got really upset and I told him he can do whatever he wants, but if he goes on this dinner date, I'm done. He thinks I'm overreacting and being insecure. Are you joking? So, wise people of Reddit, is this rebound girl overreacting? I could either like scream or cry at the moment. You are so not the a-hole. Jack is a giant a-hole. Jack's friends sound like giant a-holes. Everybody in this except for you, OP, sounds awful. It's 4:45 a.m. and I didn't sleep last night. I thought I'd post an update. I decided I'd stay awake and talk to him when he came home. When he did, I told him I could have tracked your location. I could have shown up at the restaurant and done so many things to get my answer, but I'd like to believe that you've got enough respect for me to tell me, were you on a dinner date with your friends or Emma? He showed me pictures and said, no, it was all of us, me, my friends, and Emma. I was stupid enough to feel relieved, even feeling bad for accusing him. Then he told me to sit down because we needed to talk. He said that after seeing Emma at the gala, he couldn't stop thinking about her. He decided he'd take Monday and Tuesday, yesterday, off, and spent the whole day with her, while I assumed that he was at work. He went on about how strong their connection was, how they couldn't stop talking, and how much he enjoyed being with her. He told me that I'm a sweet woman, but he never felt that spark with me. Oh, God. He said that at dinner, Emma was laughing and having fun with everybody, and it felt like old times, compared to me being quiet and uncomfortable around his friends. He said that it's best that we go our separate ways. I asked him if they had sex, and he didn't reply. I asked again and again, but he still wouldn't answer. I was so upset, and I asked, why did you even marry me if you're not over her? He said that he thought I was the one, but these past 2 days made him realize there's no spark between us. He kept going on about how sweet I am, and that I'll find somebody too. I told him to shut up. I said, Emma knew about your cancer treatments. Where was she when you needed a friend? Why didn't she ever call you back then? He went all quiet. I feel stupid for ignoring all the red flags over the years and wasting 6 years of my life with them. My next step is hiring a lawyer and finding my own place. I feel so numb right now. I'm going to contact my brother to help me. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, awful doesn't even begin to describe this guy. OP, I'm so sorry. Yeah, sorry that you wasted years with this guy. Oh my God, today's episode has been wild. I feel kind of unwell after what we've read today. Like, I know that's dramatic, but at the same time, kind of not. The top comment says, your husband and his friends sound like complete a-holes. The rebound girl at the wedding is so disrespectful and so not funny. Then the ex coming back into play and him rubbing it in your face. The guys weren't kidding when they described her. The audacity of this girl. This guy is a total jackass. Yeah, sounds like they deserve each other. You've deserved somebody better for a long time. Yeah, completely. You're not the loser in this story, OP. You should count yourself lucky that you're nothing like these people. And yeah, like that comment said, the rebound girl at the wedding. Imagine feeling like you can even say that. So gross. And the audacity of your ex too, OP. You are so much better off without them. Yeah, this comment, I'm so sorry. You deserve so much better than him. She can have him. They're off to a bad start considering how sneaky he is, and he cheated on his wife to be with her. Yeah, he's not a catch at all. And the audacity of him to be like, oh yeah, you're a sweet person. Oh yeah, you'll find somebody. Acting like he's a good person that's done nothing wrong. Yeah, like the first one that we read. I'm so sorry this happened, but you're so much better off without him. Okay, once again, we need to move on. The next one that we're going to read says, am I the a-hole for telling my brother that he betrayed mum? So why would he get half of everything? My mum died a few months ago and she left my brother 40 some money, but I-40's female got most of what she owned. Some background to explain why mum did this, and my brother is angry. My mum was an only child for 16 years and she always wanted to get involved in her dad's business, but he didn't want a girl or woman taking over the family business. He was determined to have a son one way or another, and even though mum was prepared to leave school and work for him, by the time her brother came along, he made it very clear that even if there was no son, he would never let her work for him or take over one day. He would rather see the business close. That destroyed my mum. She loved her parents and felt so rejected. Mum's dad didn't get his way because her brother wanted nothing to do with the business and then refused to even work for him, let alone take over. My mum was estranged from her dad for many years because her dad made it painfully clear to her that he didn't value a daughter and never would, so mum took a step back. But when he heard that mum had a son, he reached out. And when that didn't work, he waited until my brother was 18 and he offered him a job and the chance to run the family business. My mum was shocked and my brother told her that she better not tell him not to accept because he didn't like the fact that she kept us from our grandfather and prevented him from running the business with the estrangement. Mum and him had a talk and she said that she did not want him to grow up with the same disregard for women as her dad. He basically told her to go and f herself and he went to work for her dad. Wow, that's so awful. awful. Years passed and he regretted the strain between him and Mum, and Dad was disgusted with him too. He reached out after Dad died and apologized and told Mum that he loved her, but things were never the same, and he talked about her dad like he was some amazing hero of a guy, which was so difficult for my mum. So apparently when my mum had her will made, she decided that I should get the most and my brother should get something but not an equal share given he had the business, and because he seemed perfectly okay with her being shut out of it for being born the wrong sex, my brother is hurt and angry about this now that she's gone. He asked me how she could have done this and why I'm not angry. I told him he betrayed Mum, so why would he get half? He tried to say that he didn't, but I told him that he went to work for her dad anyway, and then basically told her to go and herself. And even when they reconciled, he acted like the father who treated her like crap was some amazing person who needed his praises sang all the time. He said I was crapping on him for no real reason. Am I the a-hole? No, of course you're not the a-hole, OP. Your brother is realizing, once again, that actions have consequences. Oh, I betrayed a loved one and pretty much told them to go and F themselves, and that actually has consequences? Oh my god, the shock and the horror. Like, bro, why are you surprised? Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole. He got what she should have got, the business. He seems greedy and clueless. Yeah, clueless is an understatement. You mean if I treat somebody awfully, there might be consequences? Yeah, and also like this comment says, not the a-hole, and you aren't crapping on him. He did that all on his own. Yeah, these are your actions that got you here, dude. It's not your fault, OP. Okay, after what we've read today, we definitely need to read something wholesome. Also, we didn't have any kitty cat breaks today, so I'll see if Chia wants to say hi. I've got her, and she's so cute, and she makes everything better. Her little tail here. Hello, Chia. How you doing, Chia? Not even joking. Like, I feel better immediately after seeing the cats. How are you so powerful, Chia? I've got magic powers. Yeah, here we go. Like the wholesome meme says, I work hard so my cat can have a better life. Yeah, 100%. This is why I'm here, Chia. That's so funny because it's so true. And also, that is such an adorable photo. I have read this next one before, but I want to read it again because it's so good. Your self-worth does not depend on your productivity, and it's okay to just exist. Yeah, don't feel bad if you feel like you needed that reminder, because I definitely do need that reminder too. Yeah, like it's so easy to get caught up in progress and achieving stuff and how much output you have and stuff. But at the end of the day, you're a living being on this planet. And yeah, your self-worth does not depend on your productivity. That's such a good reminder. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a good time today. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about today's episode. I feel like that was the most wild episode we've done in a long time. Yeah, that was really something. The comment of the day today goes to Kai Sky. We should start playing bingo during these Reddit stories. You're just being dramatic. Do it for the sake of family. That's just how they are. Oh yeah, 100%. Do it for family harmony and keep the peace. So many little things like that that we see all the time. It's so frustrating, isn't it? Definitely better to be bingo than a drinking game, because if it was a drinking game, you'd probably die. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!